Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center here to congratulate you on your purchase of your Flagstaff Microlite 25 BRDS travel trailer. Picked a pretty cool unit here. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things, get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. First thing I want you to take into consideration is your slide. Got a pretty deep slide here. Get a good eye for it, see how much room you need to have that come in and out unimpeded, preferably nothing hanging over top of it, even though you've got slide covers, and then plenty of room to walk through behind your slide here. Also think about where your power and water connections are going to be. With your slide closed, they're going to be behind, your water is going to be behind your tires on your off camp side or your driver's side of your vehicle, and your power is going to be all the way at the rear of your off camp side. So once you park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite, unhook your hitch. First thing you do is level your unit. You do have a docking light here and a power tongue jack simply to raise or lower the unit. You do have a manual override here if you lose power, and a hand crank to bring that up or down. Speaking of power, check the battery terminals when you arrive. Make sure them are nice and tight. Bouncing this down the road, make sure nothing's wiggled loose. After you get your unit level, next thing you do is stabilize it. On all four corners you have stabilizer jacks in this 3/4 inch hand crank. Simply bring them down. You can use an impact driver or a drill gun, 3/4 inch socket on the end, and run these down in a matter of seconds. But I recommend if you do that, slow down when you get to the bottom. Remember, these are stabilizing jacks, not leveling jacks. You're only going to want to bring these down until they're taut and stabilizing the unit. I recommend jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris. Hot blacktop in the summer, keep them from sinking into the ground and better distribute the weight. So use your 10% off coupon, grab a 4-pack of those, run these down again just until they're taut. If you have all four corners down, got a unit level and stable, we can go ahead and hook up our power and water. Again, all the way at the rear of your unit. See how these new plugs go on. So they go in at a little angle here. Get a line back up again. And once it's in, turn to the right and then put on your black washer. Got our power hooked up. Oh, this 30 amp service, should you need it. 30 to 110 adapter comes in your convenience pack. Got our power hooked up, let's hook up our water. City water connection. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. Always use this when putting water into your city water connection, antifreeze inlet, or your black tank flush. Hook this up, hook up your hose, but don't turn our water on yet. Let's go around and find our hot water heater. This is going to be located just to the left of the entry doorway. All we're doing at this point is making sure our drain plug's back in. Recommend plumber's putty, or plumber's tape, not plumber's putty. Get that in there nice and tight, and then you can go ahead and turn on your hose. Go inside and open up your hot water tap. But you've got water going through there, and pull up on this, you'll have water coming out of here. Then you know your hot water heater is full, you can light it from inside. Now, there is an on-off switch down here. It's taped to off right now. The only time you ever want to turn this on out here is if you're hooked up to 110. Turn it on here as well as electric inside. Hot water heater doesn't seem to be working. Come out here, there's a couple reset buttons. If it's bubbled out, simply press it back in. Let's say you're going camping and you're not going to use city water. You're gonna use potable water. You're gonna go dry docking. Your potable water tank is all the way up here on your off-camp side at the front of the unit. Simply fill this up with a hose, no need for a water pressure regulator. 2 ways to tell when it's full. You have an overflow valve right here, or if you go into the inside and check your tank levels, press on your fresh water tank and it'll tell you when this is full. Just remember, when using potable water is when you're going to want to turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when using city water, it's already pressurized. Alright, we're all hooked up to camp. Let's walk you around the unit and show you a few other things. Starting on this off-camp side at the front, you got a docking light here. Your pass-through storage. Again, your potable water. The drain for that potable water is right there, white handle to pull. Your slides. Recommend getting a lubricant for these to add the longevity of the life of your wipers. Storage and storage. Storage and storage. Back side of your slide over here, you have your city water connect, your cable inlets, cable and satellite. This is where you'll put your antifreeze into the unit when you winterize it. Black tank flush, we'll talk about that when leaving the campsite. And you also have an outdoor shower over here. Your low point drain for draining the water is on this side. When hooked up to potable water, or excuse me, when hooked up to city water. Find it here. Alright, so these low point drains here are tucked right up underneath here. Your red and blue right there. And your dump station. Your back stabilizing jacks, your power. Spare tire. Your unit's also prepped for a Furion backup camera. Device you can purchase from our store that sits on the dash of the tow vehicle, giving you a backup camera for the unit. Your ladder to go up and check your seams. Recommend checking them twice a year or twice a season. And caulk as needed. You have this outdoor shower over here, spray port. I'll show you the blue hose that hooks up to that. Got a couple LP connects underneath here. One there and there. One for your outdoor grill. Simply connect there. Pull your hose down, connect it here, and then there's an extra one if you want to set up over here. Because on the inside, you also have another table that holds another griddle out here. Cable and 110 if you want to hook a TV up out here. Access to the back of your fridge. A couple outdoor speakers. A vent for your microwave. Another removable table here. This is your furnace heat release. If you're running your furnace, you're clear of that. It'll get rather warm. Your hot water heater. That hole right there is for a manual override crank for your slide. It's the big gold handled crank in here. Stabilizing jacks, there's for that spray port. Unit's also wired for solar. You can hook a solar panel up here and trickle charge your batteries. Again, your batteries. There's a cover for your propane tank right there. Propane set on a regulator. You can point it toward individual tanks or set it in the middle, open up, and it'll automatically change over when it's empty. Safety breakaway. A battery disconnect right in here. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide detector. That about covers everything on the outside. Let's go take a look on the inside. Big step above steps. I'll show you how to close them up when we leave. Give you this nice entryway handle. First thing I like to point out when coming into a unit is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camped with you knows the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway. To the left of your entry doorway down here, your cabinets. Up here is your RV technology sound system. Turn that on real quick. Probably still hooked up Bluetooth. That's usually what they do. 3 different zones. When they're red, they're off. You play your music indoors, the other front, or outdoors. Bluetooth, AM, FM. Nice system. Over here is your control panel. Wi-Fi ranger booster. Plug that in when you're at the back of the campsite, and it'll be just like you're at the front of the campsite. Your brand new batteries. Your fresh connection, your fresh tank, that's where you can hold that down to tell when your potable water is full. And your black and gray tanks. Here's where you turn on your Wi-Fi booster. Your water pump, if using potable water. You turn on your water heater here, if hooked up to gas. Here, if hooked up to electric. Tank heater, and if in inclement weather. Interior lights. Porch, awning, and step lights. Here's your slide control and your awning. I'm going to run your awning out real quick. Show you how far to run those out. Below that, A110 and heated. Open your door here. So you're going to want to run your awning out until that flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see your brown bar. And you know you're out far enough. Here's your awning lights and porch light. Your Furion television. Self-explanatory microwave. Above the stove you do have a light and a fan. This glass top makes an excellent backsplash. You have a panel light. Simply turn this to high, hit your spark when your gas is on, it'll turn on. So that's your oven light. If you your Dometic fridge, let's open that up to your control panel. Turn it on right here. So right now it's on auto. Auto means when you're hooked up to electricity, you're running off electricity. As soon as you unplug, it'll go to gas. If you want to run it strictly gas, lift up on that, and that'll flash if your gas is low. AC unit with quick dump. There is your Elite Griddle and stand for that. In your storage area underneath your bunks. Your ladder for your bunks. A lot of individual lighting up in here. USB ports. Over here on the wall, your thermostat. Simply, we will start with cool. Air comes on quickly. Shut that off to just a fan, that goes quick. Now turn on your heat. Now you'll notice when I shut the heat off, it takes a moment for the fan to stop running on that. It does not just your unit, every unit. Down here on the floor is another 110. And your 12 volt carbon monoxide propane detector. Now the reason I mention this is 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So again, if you're going to be gone for the day, you're not plugged in, nothing charging your battery, use that battery disconnect up by your battery to keep this from running your battery down. In the bathroom, lighting over here, you have a hand crank open fan here. Some more individual lighting. What I mentioned in here is where your 110 with GFCI resets at. Your lighting for your dinette is here. Emergency escape window. Your table will fold down and sit right on these. Remove your back cushions onto the middle, gives you a bed there. Your smoke alarm. And let me show you quickly how to set up your Murphy bed. This is set here good for me. So first off, your sofa does have cup holders. Simply grab the black strap in the front, lift it up. You see that's your pass-through storage area. Set that down. Unhook both of these last. Just like that. And bring it down. You can make your bed, put these straps on it, bed's made for the day, you're all set. Now, when we turn this back up, you have to pull on this because this is locked down right now. You'll see it won't go too far up. Pull up on this, or pull back on this, and then lift it. Once it's unlocked, you simply set it back in and lock it in for travel. Lift up on the front of your bunk or your sofa and jackknife that back down. Just that quickly, you're back down to a sofa. We're gonna lock these in for travel. I think that about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Didn't mention you do have this extension here. Reason I want to mention it because you want to make sure this is back down. Your doors are closed over here and nothing's going to impede this slide from coming in. That's the most important thing here. So I like to start out by shutting off my interior light right here, and then I can see all the individual lighting that I need to go through and shut off. Let me do that real quick. Now I've shut off all the lighting except for what can be controlled here. We're simply going to put in on your slide. You notice the importance of having those cabinet doors closed. You don't want to rip them off while you're closing your slide. Make sure nothing's in the way of it. Of course, make sure your recliner's down. Those are recliners. There's a handle to pull right there to open them up. You notice the importance of having this up as well. They utilize every inch here. It's okay to hear that little noise at the end. Let me do that again. That is just a slide mechanism keeping itself from coming in too far. Shut off our interior lights and head on out of the unit. So before closing these steps up, you want to make sure this exterior door is all the way open, otherwise this will catch on it. Simply lift it up, and as you see, it almost floats in on its own. Set that in there. Lock and deadbolt your exterior door. Lift and turn your handle, and that's ready for travel. Come to your hot water heater. Lift up on this pressure release valve, leave that up, that's going to drain all your hot water out. Once that's done, go ahead and remove your drain valve. Be sure to put this back down or your door will not close. We are going to unhook any grills, unhook our water, bring up our stabilizing jacks, go to this low point drain, reach up underneath here, open them up. If we're using potable water, we're going to come to this fresh tank drain and pull that handle and drain all that water out of your fresh tank. Hook up our hitch, head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, you're going to take your sewage hose, 10-footer, comes with your convenience pack, hook it up right here. Once you do, we're going to pull that black handle on the right hand side. Now once it sounds like that black handle is no longer draining, you're going to again take your water pressure regulator and come to your black tank flush. With your black handle open, hook up that water pressure regulator, hook up the hose and turn that on for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash out your black tank, get all that nastiness out of there. Undo your hose, come down here, close that black handle and pull your gray handle. The gray handle is going to be your cleaner waters, your sinks, your showers. That's going to clean your sewage hose out for you. You're going to come to the rear of your unit, open up your bumper and store your sewage hose conveniently and sanitarily in your bumper. Hey, again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy your Microlite for many years to come. Happy camping.